So, good morning, sir. I'm the Cadet Lasconia Carlo, and I'm here now to discuss the kinds of cranes. So, there are many kinds of cranes. So, before I will start, I'm the group 4. So, my topic test is the cranes. So let's start. So cranes is the hoisting device used for cargo handling and other operations. So cranes are required to hoist, loft, and slow. Separate motors are required for each motion. So cranes makita ni nato sa kuan buildings, companies, or sa kuan ships ng big ships. Cranes are very important to us, or especially for making buildings. We need the cranes. So kinahanglan gid nato kay mao man ni ang mo karga sa mga kargamento nga bugat kayo gikan sa yuta, or like sa building, example sa building na kay kargahonon nga ibutang sa taas. So dili man gini bisag daghan pa kay mong tao dira nya bugat kay di ginamada. So kinahanglan kita og cranes para mo alsa ng kuan, maalsa ng mga bugat padong sa itaas. So there are many kinds of cranes. So first, the cargo cranes, cargo handling cranes, cranes for bulk cargos, containers, general cargo, or pelletized cargo. So morning cargo cranes ang makita nato sa ibabaw sa barko nga mo karga og mga kanang like example containers, kanang mao ni mo karga sa mga kanang mga pagbugat kay nga mga kargamento. So there are construction cranes, floating cranes for carrying assembly work in calm water as well as unprotected water. So the cargo cranes mao ni akong gingon nga makita ni nato sa kuan buildings katong gingon ganina. So big cranes that do not handle cargo, provision cranes, house handling cranes, and etc. So mao ni katong makita nato sa big cranes katong gingon ganina example nga makarga sa mga kargamento nga bugat nga ikarga nato, isaka nato sa kuan like the container ships. So the floating cranes, usually barge types, hulls provided with large cranes used for various heavy lift tasks, salvage and wreck removals. Submersible crane ships are used to carry out offshore installation work. So kaning floating cranes guys kay wa ko kailan ni. Gently crane, a hoisting device usually on rails having a lifted hook suspended from a car, which is movable horizontally and directionally transverse to its rails. So the house handling cranes, manifold cranes, cylinder luffing cranes used to handle and tanker cargoes, hoses. Hose cranes must be explosion proof. Consequently, hydraulic motors are usually supplied with fluid from a central pump until located a freeze zone. So monorail provision cranes, rail remove mountain trolley that can be removed at warships, and it's fitted with rack and pinion drive. So the offshore cranes are a range of shipboard cranes and floating cranes that works offshore. Also cranes mounted on offshore installations. So the offshore cranes working on deck, cranes on offshore installation not use supply cranes because of their location. So the offshore supply cranes located on fixed or floating offshore installations for loading and unloading supplies of vessels. So twin cranes, the two cranes mounted on the platform which can be rotated horizontally through 360 degrees. Each crane can be operated independently. When required, the two cranes can be linked together to operate in a twin mode. In case both cranes are controlled from the cable of one of them. So from the word twin cranes, so one yun sila, duha ni sila guys nga kuan nakakita na pod kuan ni sa, pero wag kita ni sa barko, kita ko ni sa kuan sa mga building, duha ka buok ga dapat 360 kuan ilang rotated horizontally. So overall guys, my discussion is about cranes. So cranes, mga tawag yung ganin nga is very important to us, or very important to make the buildings, like what I've said earlier nga kinahanglan kayo nga na ay cranes. So without cranes we cannot make buildings like 26 in Dana, 27, 5, 10. Okay, the materials we cannot nang di na tumada padung sa taas, manumano lang nga mga tao kita ra nya daghan kita nya bugat kina di ginamdaso. By the help of the cranes we can patangas the kuan the materials in the top. So that's all my discussion, and hope you can understand my little discussion, and thank you.
Mooring winches. So mooring winches secure the shipboard end of mooring lines, provide for adjustment of the mooring line length, and compensate for changes in draft and tide. General requirements for shipboard mooring winches are dealt within ISO standards 3730 and 7825. Winches can be categorized by their control type: automatic or manual. Tensioning. So drive type: steam, hydraulic or electric. By the number of drums associated with each drive, by the type of drums, split or undivided, and by their brake type and brake application: band, disc, mechanical screw, spring applied. And so types of mooring winch. The first one is automatic tension mooring winch, and the second, manual tension mooring winch. The third, non-split drum mooring winch, and the fourth one is split drum mooring winch. So automatic tension mooring winch and manual tension mooring winch. Self-tension winches designed to have in automatically whenever the line tension falls below a certain preset value. Likewise, they pay out if the line tension exceeds a preset value. The use of the self-tension winches is not recommended except for mooring deployed at 90 degrees to the ship axis. Manual winch always requires a person to handle the controls for heaving or rendering. So, the non-split drum mooring winch. The undivided drum winches are commonly found on smaller ships. It is often difficult to spool and stow the wire on such a drum satisfactorily. When wires are handed directly off the drum, the final turns out of the outer layer when under tension tends to bite into the lower layer. This could result in possible wire damage and difficulties when releasing the line. To reduce this problem, the winch with non-split drum should be placed of a sufficient distance from the fairlead to ensure that the wire can be properly spooled.
Good day, I'm Deck Cadet Sam Divan Libago. Split drum mooring winch. A winch with a drum divided by a notch, flange into a tension section and a line storage section. Parts of the mooring winch. So there are 7 parts of mooring winch. These are motor, gearbox, mooring drum, strap brake, clutch and lever, control station, warping drum. A winch with a drum which is used for hauling in or letting the mooring wires go. A warp end is also fitted to assist in moving the ship. So, these are the 10 important points for ship's mooring equipment maintenance. Number 1. Make checks prior mooring. Number 2. Do frequent greasing of moving parts. Number 3. Check brake liners. Number 4. Check brake drums. Number 5. Check brake linkage. Number 6. Inspect gear hydraulic oil. Number 7. Carry out regular visual inspection. Number 8. Clear walkway. Number 9. Do proper marking and labeling. Number 10. Maintenance of steel wire mooring ropes.
So, windlass. Windlass is a machine designed to hoist or lower an anchor. It consists of a horizontal barrel that is fitted with a gear-like projections like cable lifter that engage the links of the anchor chain. Anchor windlass. Anchors play a vital role in maneuvering ships and aid them in safety docking and at ports and on the high seas. To keep an entire vessel in a place, a heavy weight known as the anchor provides the resistive forces. So this mechanical device is known as the anchor windlass, and it is used for this very purpose. So a windlass is referred to any pulley or mechanical system used to shift large weights in a vertical or in horizontal directions. It was invented by the ancient Greek scientist Archimedes and was used for general purposes such as to draw water from the well or to aid lifting heavy construction equipments. So technically speaking, windlass refers to only the horizontal winches, and the vertical designs are correctly called as capstans. So there are many parts of a windlass. So first is the gypsy drum, or also known as the wildcat in some countries. It is a unit used to raise and lower the anchor cable through the spurling pipe from the chain locker. The wheel itself has snags in which the studs of the anchor chain fit and grip while moving. Having said that, it is the extreme importance that snags on the gypsy wheel match the chain size closely. So, a small difference in link size or consistency can cause undue wear on the gypsy wheel and cause the chain to jump off of the windlass when the winch is operating, particularly during lowering of the anchor. So in some installations, especially on onboard smaller vessels and yachts, the gypsy wheel rotates about a vertical axis or other rotating components, not by friction but by clearance feed. So this type of clutch is not affected by wear and in the same way that the friction clutches are. The work of the dog clutch is to engage the gypsy wheel on the windlass and rotate it. This rotation causes the anchor chain to move on the gypsy wheel from the chain locker or into the chain locker. So the dog clutch can be engaged and is engaged easily by the windlass operator. When not in use or during an emergency, the clutch can be disengaged. Next is the riding powel. It is a small rotating drum forward of the gypsy wheel, and this drum works identically to the gypsy and is used to carry the anchor chain from the deck into the house pipe. Next is the chain or cable stopper, or also known as the guillotine. Is a lever fitted on the riding powel used to secure the chain when at anchor and take off the strain from the windlass. Additionally, it is also used as a means of lashing the anchor in place once it is retrieved.
Devil's Claw. The Devil's Claw is a device that is used plainly as a chain stopper or lashing. This grabs and holds an anchor chain in place. Now the Devil's Claw consists of turnbuckle attached to the base of the anchor, windlass, and a metal hook with two curved bars that grab onto one of the links of the chain. Now this is often used on ships due to the fact that it is lighter and easier to manage than other types of lashings. After hoisting the anchor and putting on the windlass brake, the claw is placed on one of the links of the chain and tightened to take up the tension. If more than one stopper is used, the turnbuckles can be adjusted to evenly distribute the load. It is important to note that the Devil's Claw cannot be released while it is under tension, and therefore to release it, the tension must be first taken up by the windlass brake. Now at this point, the turnbuckle can be easily loose and removed. Brake assembly. The brake assembly for the windlass is very simple. It is provided with an operating wheel to control the lowering of the anchor. It is a good note that the brake has an important part in the lowering procedure, especially when the let-go method is being used. Hose pipe and anchor wash. The hose pipe is an operating in the deck guiding the chain from the riding powell on the deck to the outside of the shell plating. Now it is constructed to a size large enough to ensure the smooth running of the anchor chain and to provide secure stowage for the anchor, permitting it to drop freely when released without jamming or risking damage to the ship's hull. Nowadays, the hose pipe also consists of water spray hose that enables the anchor wash. This washes any dirt or mud off the anchor chain or the anchor itself as it is being heaved up. Now the purpose of anchor wash is extremely important. Without any anchor wash, the mud that gets caught to the anchor and anchor chain while it is at the bottom of the sea and ends up in the chain locker. Once the mud dries, it acts as a block of concrete, therefore causing trouble when the anchor is used to be in the future. With that said, if the anchor wash should be a handled normal hose or high pressure wash can be used to carry out the job of the anchor wash. Spurling pipe. The spurling pipe is an opening in the deck guiding the chain from the chain locker to the gypsy wheel and onto the windlass. A metal covering is usually provided both the spurling pipe and hose pipe. Now to ensure that nothing goes through when the anchoring operation is done, and also for safety reasons to avoid trips or falls due to these openings. And lastly is the chain locker. Now the chain locker provides storage space for the anchor chain. This is situated under the deck with a pipe connection to the anchor windlass. Now the chain locker incorporates an arrangement to facilitate drainage with the chain cable and stowed on a grating. Now the biter of the chain is secured to the side or top structure of the chain locker by an arrangement that incorporates means for emergency release. Now this arrangement includes the facility for the chain to be slipped from the outside chain locker as well. The slipping of the anchor would mainly be done in an emergency.